He never knew what he was looking for was right in front of him, but would he ever find it? Come with me, guys. Let's find out together. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another fascinating movie that's going to blow your mind. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. But before we dive in, why not grab a snack? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing movie recaps just like this. The movie kicks off with a young and pretty lady named Ibera hustling on the streets, selling her roadside goods. Suddenly, a guy walks up to her, saying his boss wants to see her. She replies, telling him she's busy with her business. The guy leaves, but not for long. Moments later, the so-called boss storms in, angry and full of pride. He demands money from Ibera, and even though she tries to explain her situation, he flips her entire market upside down and walks away, leaving her weeping in pain. That same day, we're introduced to a young, handsome guy named Jade, who walks into his own house, surprised to find a lady, his girlfriend, already waiting for him. But there's a twist. It's clear Jade no longer has feelings for her. She, on the other hand, keeps forcing herself into his life. Jade heads upstairs, telling her to leave, but she insists she's staying. The next morning, we see Ibera sleeping in an unfinished building. An older man wakes her up, demanding rent. She begs for more time, trying to make him understand what she's been through. For a moment, it seems like he pities her, until he offers her a place to sleep in exchange for an affair. Ibera quickly dodges the suggestion, pretending to go take a bath just to get him to leave. The following morning, Rosie, the same girlfriend, prepares breakfast while Jade walks in, asking for his clothes. She tells him she sent them to the laundry, and he's visibly upset because he has work and she didn't inform him. Later that day, Ibera is back on the street, begging a lady for water so she can hawk. Meanwhile, Chief Cosmos arrives from a trip and thanks Jade for taking care of his house. They chat briefly, and Chief says he wants to talk more the next afternoon. They shake hands as Jade heads out. Back at the uncompleted building, Ibera is about to eat cassava flakes when she hears a group of boys nearby. She gets scared and tries to sneak a look. The noise alerts the boys, and they start chasing her. She runs for her life, but then BAM! A car hits her, Jade's car. He rushes out to help, wanting to take her to the hospital. But Ibera insists she's fine and instead demands money. The next morning, Ibera gets herself a new apartment. It's nothing fancy, but she's thankful to God for it. That same day, Jade visits Chief Cosmos, who hands him an old picture of his missing daughter and begs him to help find her. Jade agrees. Later, Jade returns home, only to find Rosie still there. He's furious. He thought she was finally gone. Turns out she came back. Again. Jade's done. He caught her cheating. And ever since then, the love he once had has completely faded. No matter how much he's told her it's over, she just won't listen. Meanwhile, Ibera, now a bit more settled in her tiny apartment, sits quietly counting the money Jade gave her, unaware that her story is just beginning. So who really is Ibera? What's Jade's connection to her? And will Chief Cosmos ever find his lost daughter? Stick around, guys, because this story is about to take a serious turn. The following day, Ibera tried to head out and continue her business, but she wasn't feeling well. Still, she forced herself to go out and try to sell, despite the pain. Meanwhile, Jade was seen talking with a lady. During their conversation, he asked for her help in searching all the orphanages for Chief Cosmos' lost child. Later at the office, Jade also asked one of his staff members to list out every orphanage home in Lagos. They discussed further before he headed back to work. The next day, while Ibera was selling on the street, a customer suddenly handed her money and rushed off in a panic. Confused, Ibera called after her. But then she saw them, the same street boys who constantly bullied her. They came again, demanding money. Left with no choice, she handed it over. Her heart was shattered. She was devastated. That evening, Jade returned home, only to find Rosie again, this time setting the dinner table. She tried to approach and kiss him, but Jade stopped her immediately. He stood up, furious, and warned her to stay away. "I don't love you anymore," he said. He was completely fed up with her forcing herself into his life. The next day, Jade visited Chief Cosmos. They spoke about the painful past, how his little girl went missing 24 years ago. After the emotional conversation, Jade excused himself to attend a meeting. On his way out of a store, he suddenly spotted the same girl he had given money to for treatment, Ebere, visibly in pain. He stopped her, but at first she didn't recognize him, until he reminded her who he was. He expressed concern, but Ebere tried to appear strong. Suddenly, she collapsed to the ground. Jade rushed her to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctor explained her critical condition. Jade was stunned. Despite the money he had given her, she never bought any medication. Though in a hurry, he made sure the doctor kept him updated on her condition before leaving. A few hours later, Ebere woke up, insisting she needed to go sell her goods. The doctor was in a tough spot. She refused to listen to anyone. Just then, Jade returned and tried to talk sense into her, but she still wouldn't listen. Eventually, they allowed her to leave. But despite the permission, she was clearly still in pain. Jade quietly followed behind in his car, watching as she limped along. Before long, she collapsed again. Jade, disappointed and frustrated, rushed out and carried her once more. The next morning, Jade was seen preparing breakfast. Meanwhile, Ebere, now in his room, woke up, startled to find herself in an unfamiliar environment, attached to a drip. Panic set in. She screamed, thinking she had been kidnapped. Jade ran in and was relieved to see she was finally awake after 3 full days of unconsciousness. They spoke briefly before Jade returned to the kitchen to bring her food. At first, Ebere hesitated. She was skeptical about eating, but Jade reassured her he would never hurt her. Only then did she begin to eat. Though the food was delicious, she was too overwhelmed to speak. The next day, Jade visited Chief Cosmos to update him on their search progress. After their chat, the chief expressed his deep appreciation before Jade took his leave. Back home, Ebere asked Jade to help her to the bathroom so she could bathe. While he was assisting her, Rosie suddenly walked in and was shocked by what she saw. Fuming, Rosie tried to attack Ebere, but Jade stopped her instantly. He dragged Rosie downstairs, furious. They got into a heated argument, and Jade told her once and for all to leave his house. Rosie stormed off, but not before warning him. "I'll be back." Jade returned inside and apologized to Ebere for the chaos. He helped her to the bathroom, then waited outside while she bathed. Suddenly, he heard her scream. He rushed in, only to find her weak and dizzy. In that moment, Jade had no choice. He gently helped bathe her himself. That night, Jade was about to leave the room to go sleep downstairs, but Ebere asked him to stay with her for a little while. They ended up chatting for a bit. Jade asked her a few questions about her family and was shocked to hear that she had no one. After a long conversation, he let her rest and quietly left the room. One night later, Jade woke up and went to the kitchen, only to find Ebere doing the dishes. He quickly stopped her and told her to go rest instead. He also promised to give her some money to buy new clothes for herself. The following morning, Jade was already dressed for work. He gently tapped Ebere awake and handed her money to buy something to eat and get anything else she needed. Ebere thanked him with genuine gratitude as he left. A moment later, she had a flashback of how kind and caring he was to her the night before. Meanwhile, Jade was out on the streets, showing people the photo of Chief Cosmos' lost daughter, asking if anyone recognized her. But no one did. Later that day, he came back home exhausted. As he entered, Ebere walked out from the kitchen. Concerned, he asked what she was doing in there. She explained that she had cooked some rice. Though Jade was worried about her pushing herself too hard, she reassured him it was okay. He went in to freshen up while she set the table. A few minutes later, after finishing his meal, Jade complimented her on the food. Ebere smiled as she cleared the table. Curious, he asked who taught her how to cook like that, but she said she learned it on her own. Then, she asked him, "Why aren't you married?" Jade replied that he simply hadn't found the right one yet. They shared a quiet, meaningful moment. That night, while Ebere was asleep, Jade stood by, silently watching her. The next morning, Jade was on the phone with the doctor, saying they were on their way to the hospital. A moment later, Ebere stepped out, looking absolutely beautiful in her new dress. They both walked outside. but the car was dusty. Jade scolded the gatekeeper for not washing it while Ibera stepped ahead. But something unexpected happened. She saw something in the car. It was a photo, her childhood photo. Her eyes widened in shock. Confused and trembling, she asked Jade, "Why do you have this picture?" Jade was stunned too. In that moment, it all clicked. She was the lost girl they had been searching for. He called her by her real name, Britis. Immediately, Iberi ran back inside the house, overwhelmed. Jade followed her in, desperate to make her understand, but Iberi was broken. So much pain from her past, so many unanswered questions. She never knew her parents were still alive. And now that she did, it was all too much. Angry and heartbroken, she refused to listen and stormed out. Iberi returned to the streets to start her business again. She wore a smile, but deep down, she was hurting. That night, lying down alone, Iberi had flashbacks of the happy moments she shared with Jade. The next day at Jade's office, one of his staff members handed him an envelope sent by the doctor. Jade opened it and read the contents carefully. Later that same day, he went around the streets again, asking different people if they had seen Iberi. After some time, he finally found her. At first, Iberi was angry to see him. But Jade did his best to talk to her, calmly, sincerely. Moments later, he took her to meet Chief Cosmos, her real father. When Jade broke the news to the chief, the old man was shaken. He sat, trying to process what he'd just heard. Iberi, still unsure, began asking him questions, one after the other. And then, that moment hit. So emotional, so raw. She broke down in tears, falling to the floor, overwhelmed by the truth, all the pain, and finally, closure. Will they finally become a family again? And will Iberi let Jade into her heart for real? A few moments later, Eber sat up and asked about her mom's whereabouts. Her father, Chief Cosmos, told her that her mother was currently in the US receiving treatment. Iberi asked how she could see her, and Chief Cosmos gently explained that she would have to travel. She then moved closer and sat beside Jade. Moments later, Chief Cosmos stood up and walked over to his daughter. Jade respectfully stood and offered his seat. Chief Cosmos was overjoyed to finally be reunited with his daughter. Guys, honestly, that moment was so touching. I'm not gonna lie, I nearly cried. What about you? Let me know how you felt down in the comments section. After everything settled, Jade got ready to leave. Iberi walked him out. They chatted outside for a while before he finally left. That night, Iberi stood in front of a mirror in her new room, staring at the scars on her body, reminders of everything she had been through on the streets. Wow, she must have survived so much pain. The following morning, Iberi and her father were having breakfast together at the dining table. But Iberi didn't like the food. Chief Cosmos quickly called the maid and asked her to prepare something else. Once the food arrived, Iberi began eating. Though her father tried to guide her to eat properly with cutlery, she preferred to eat with her hands, just like she had always done. The next day, Jade was about to step out when he received a call from the doctor regarding Iberi's medical report. The look on his face said it all. It didn't sound like good news. He ended the call and went back inside, overwhelmed, unsure of how or when to tell Iberi, especially now that she was finally happy. A day later, Jade visited Iberi at home. He looked nervous, like he had something important to say. Just then, the doctor called again, and this time, he clarified that the test results were not for Iberi. Jade was devastated and furious with the doctor for such a serious mistake. Iberi watched him silently, confused. After hanging up, Jade quickly changed the topic, trying not to worry her. Then, out of nowhere, he confessed his feelings for her. Iberi was surprised. Jade tried to leave, but she followed him outside, silently holding on to that moment. Later that same day, Chief Cosmos arrived home with a gift for his daughter. He handed her a package containing brand new clothes and a phone. Iberi was so excited, she gave him a warm hug filled with love and gratitude. That night, she was on the phone with Jade, chatting with a huge smile on her face. You could tell something special was blooming between them. The next day, Iberi and her father were ready to travel out of the country. They shared a heartfelt conversation before she got into the car. Meanwhile, Jade arrived home, only to find Rosie waiting for him. Calm but firm, he told her to move on, because his heart now belonged to someone else. Then he walked past her and went inside. 2 nights later, Jade and Iberi were still chatting over the phone, laughing, teasing, and clearly missing each other. The following day, same thing. More calls, more connection. You could see love growing between them. A week later, Ebere returned to Lagos, Nigeria. That night, Jade proposed to her, and there, in that quiet, magical moment, they embraced each other, wrapped in love, peace, and a brand new beginning. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories like this one. Until next time, bye.